it was a new beginning for Jim on that day.
Definitely.
And was music part of that?
I wasn't even doing music at the time.
Okay.
Like, music wasn't even a thing.
Okay.
Like, it wasn't a thought or nothing. Like, you know, Black was still, like, in the studio working and shit, but that didn't have nothing to do with me at that time. And then, like, kind of when I was, like, bouncing back a little bit, he called me, like, come through, whatever. You know, I came, and that's how we got No Shame. But when it happened, music wasn't a part of my life.
Interesting. But you were, like, into rapping.
Yeah, like, playing. Like, you know, just playing with my partners and shit, just fucking around. But, like, on a serious note, nah. Like, I had rap when I was, like, 14, and it, like, went up. Like, it was on everybody's sidekicks and shit back then, but it wasn't, like, something that I was, like, doing.
What was your early influence for hip-hop?
On some bass shit or just period?
Just a little bit of both.
Hot Boys.
Hot Boys, Cash Money.
Cash Money, for sure. Big timers. Fucking, you niggas be hating on it, but Ja Rule. I liked that nigga had hits.
Yeah, then certified hits.
We thought he was from the hood. You know, he was screaming murder, so we like, oh, fuck this nigga from the hood. We didn't know. We just kids. Fucking, you know, Messy Marv, Delinquents, fucking, all that shit, fucking Seagram. Like, I'm really a town kid. Like, you know, my mom used to pull up to the High Street gas station and get burnt CDs and shit. I know about Seagram when I was a little-ass kid in the back seat listening to that shit, so I could pull up some shit that you like, damn, you know that song? Like,
hell yeah. Sleeping with my Nikes on.
Man, listen, bro. I got some shit. This music shit been a part of my life forever.
Yeah, man. Oakland's got such a rich music history.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times when I get cats from the town on this podcast, I ask them what was they into. It's mostly Oakland music.
For sure, because it's so much. Richie Rich, fucking all these niggas. Like, it's so much. It's like, and this is what you hearing in the cars that's going past the Cougars, the Stangs, you know. I'm seeing all this as a kid, 6 years old, 7 years old. So it's like, my mama was like, you feel me?
She was outside too.
Yeah, so she was showing me. She used to take me to side shows back then. She done took me to a couple. Like, it ain't like how it is now, though. Like, all this dumb shit. It was more on some, like, flossing shit. It was different. I got to see that.
Yeah.
A lot of little kids didn't get to see that.
No.
I really got to see that, though.
I think that's why our music is so popular, because it takes people who, like, we might grow up with that shit. You can reach out and touch it.
Yeah.
But for people that's never been to Oakland, never been to Frisco, never been to Vallejo, they can hear the music and go somewhere different. But it's like a real grassroots culture, man.
Yeah, it's different.
I was gonna ask too, is there anyone from the Dubs before y'all that was
turned up, like rapping?
Yeah.
I mean, you got some like shit back in the day, like Under Surveillance. That was like when I was a little kid. You got fucking Beat a Weeda.
Oh, right. Shout out to Beat a Weeda.
Like him. You got niggas like that. But like on a major level, like, no.
Yeah.
Like as far as like the hood goes, like who kicked down the door? Me and Black.
Yeah.
I say that with my chest out.
There you go.
Ain't nobody from my neighborhood ever took it to her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean that in the humblest way.
I like that, bro. Well, this is the place to say it, man. Let it be known. History of the debate, man.
It's the truth.
Okay. So you're just kind of playing with it just on your downtime, but All Black is taking it serious.
Yeah, he was on the under though. Like nobody really knew. That's just something he was just working on until like, I think when he dropped like No Shame, the first No Shame, it's like, damn, this nigga rapping. Oh, he's serious. Then he was working on No Shame 2. And then that's when he called me like, oh, come through. I came. Like, I just was coming to listen though, because I always loved music. I always loved to listen to it. So I really was just coming to listen to him. Then he like, nah, get on this. But I ain't like the beat at the time. I'm like, this shit's so weak. Probably took me like 2 hours to do the shit. And I did it. And then it just kicked off.
That song in particular went up for y'all.
Yeah, we ain't had no video shot to it or nothing. I was in San Jose with my partners. It probably was like 2, 3 in the morning. We was at a Denny's. And it was like a bunch of Mexicans up there, and they was staring at me. I'm like, what the fuck? What they looking at? So now they walking up. So I'm like, man. But they like, hey, you Jim?
Like, you upset Jim, fool?
Yeah, it was like that. And I'm
just
like,
see you on Thizzler, bro.
And I'm like, what the fuck? This like no Thizzler, no none of that shit. I probably got 6,000 followers on Instagram. Like it was like
just organic.
I didn't have nothing. Like I didn't. It was no picture of me on that shit. Nothing. It was nothing shot to that shit. So when they said, I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah. Like, oh, this is him. Hey, then they surrounded me and they start playing a song. I'm like, what the fuck? Like me and all my partners was just like, what the fuck? And from that day, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this shit.
There you go.
And I went and did it, and it just happened.
Check it out, everybody. The second annual History of the Bay Day is going down October 19th at the Midway in San Francisco, and early bird tickets are on sale right now. If you were at last year's event, you know how special it was. You know the vibes. This year is going to be even bigger. We're going to have legendary performances, a live podcast, women in hip-hop panel, History of Bay Area dance cypher, graffiti gallery curated by Dying Breed, a museum exhibit, exclusive vendors, food, and much more. We're going to have an epic lineup this year. We're going to be announcing the first artist soon, but right now you can get tickets at a discounted rate on the early bird special, so make sure you hit up the link at the description of this episode, and I'll see y'all October 19th at the Midway SF for History of the Bay Day Part 2.
Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay. Recognize where you got the game. We got our own style, got our own slang. Northern California is a West Coast thing. This is the history of the Bay.